Starfield has attracted many new people to the Bethesda game studio's world. A surprising amount of people waiting for Starfield have actually never played a Bethesda game before, and honestly I feel like a lot of you guys that fit this category are in for a big surprise when you do get your hands on Starfield. So I thought today I could tell the new folks to BGS games what to actually expect, because there's a lot of hype going around recently and a lot of channels that are expecting things that Bethesda would never do. And as someone who has played literally every Bethesda Game Studios game to exist, yes, I've even played Arena and Daggerfall and I fucking loved them, I thought that it would be nice to go over what you can actually expect from Starfield from the point of view of a die-hard BGS fan. It's not a secret that most Bethesda games play the same way. Even dating back to Morrowind, you can see similarities to Fallout 4 for example, and it's going to be the same with Starfield. Honestly, if you haven't played a BGS game before, you could very easily just skip this entire video and go and play Skyrim or Fallout 4, which are the two games I'd recommend the most since they are the newest ones, so you'll probably enjoy them the most. But anyway, here are 10 things that you can definitely expect from Starfield. Bethesda have always been known for their fantastic quests, especially their side content. I think most BGS fans can sort of agree that the main quest really isn't Bethesda's strong suit. While most of the main quests are still very much enjoyable, and it's still the side content that really stands out. You see, Bethesda are very much experienced in making good side content, allowing you to go off and meet random NPCs, pick up a quest from them, and before you know it, you're doing the funnest quest that you found yet. Bethesda's quests are really the thing that gets you so immersed into their games. It's a great way to, sort of experience the lore of the world, and basically, in short, you don't need to worry about Starfield's quests sucking. There are bound to be plenty of great quests. Now, one of the things that Bethesda is no doubt best at is building lore for their universes. Elder Scrolls and Fallout both have amazing lore, some of the best and most fleshed out, in-depth lore I've ever seen for a video game. I mean, there are literally lore masters out there that do nothing but work on Bethesda's lore. Starfield at the very least will be a cool universe that Bethesda has created. Don't believe me? Just go and take a look at Elder Scrolls and Fallout lore. There are channels out there with millions of subs that do nothing but talk about Bethesda's lore 5 times a week, and honestly, I'm so confident that Starfield's lore will be amazing that it's what I'm planning to focus most of my channel around once the game releases. Look, if you're crazy hyped for Starfield like the rest of us, and you want to just get a feel of how movement, finding quests, interacting with NPCs, exploration, character customization, and so much more works in Starfield, I'm telling you, just go and play some other BGS games, because it's all mostly the same, being slightly improved with every newer game. Compare Starfield and Fallout 4 and you can see the characters move and act in the exact same type of ways. Everything from the melee swinging, to how we enter buildings, to even little things like the loading screens. I'm telling you, Starfield will be no different. Sure, it will have a lot of improvements and change slightly, especially with Creation Engine 2, but really not all that much. If you want to see what you're getting into, go and play some other BGS games. My favourites are Morrowind, Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Now, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, so I just want to warn you now that I am very passionate about this particular topic, but for those of you hoping for co-op or multiplayer, this game will not be for you. Starfield will be single player only, and thank God, honestly. BGS makes single player only games, and they're great. If you want sci-fi online, you have thousands of other games that you can play. Starfield will never add multiplayer down the road, it's just not possible, and co-op, Bethesda have never done it before, so it's highly unlikely. Not to mention Todd Howard didn't even want to make Fallout 76 happen, according to inside sources, so it's very unlikely that we will ever see an online for his dream game. And personally, this makes me really happy. I'm tired of every franchise needing to push themselves online. Single player games are where it's at for me, and after the massive backlash Bethesda got for making an online Fallout game, which I've actually grown to somewhat enjoy, it's unlikely that they'll ever want to make Starfield Online. Although I will say a Starfield MMO is possible from ZeniMax in the future, but I personally wouldn't have any interest whatsoever. I really don't know what to call this next one, so we'll just say Bethesda's combat is unperfect, if you will. It's very enjoyable, but it will never be held as, the best combat game of the year or anything like that, because Starfield is an RPG, not an FPS game. So if you are going into Starfield expecting Call of Duty in space, it's safe to say that you will be very disappointed. I'm not trying to be a dick here, I'm just being straight up and honest with you all like I always am. Fallout 4's combat was very enjoyable, at least in my opinion. It played nice and smoothly for the most part, but it wasn't groundbreaking by any means necessary. I expect Starfield to follow the same route, since Starfield's combat does look very similar to Fallout 4's, but once again, Bethesda games are pretty much the same, so it's safe to say that Starfield's combat will look a lot like Fallout 4's with slight improvements. But of course Starfield is adding its own style here too, with the zero grav combat fights, which I'm very excited for, and dogfights in outer space. In short, just don't expect anything groundbreaking for Starfield's combat system. Radiant quests are very prominent in Bethesda games. There is a lot of go here, kill bad guy, come back, get paid, or go here, steal item, come back and get paid quests. It's a big way of how Bethesda makes quest lines a little longer, makes factions have a little more to do and so on, such as the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim telling you to just go and kill random NPCs for a paycheck, or Fallout 4 sending you to claim settlements. Both are pretty much the same thing, just masked behind the Radiant quest system. It's how Bethesda gave more content to the Dark Brotherhood and the Minutemen. No, I wouldn't say that this is actually necessarily a bad thing, and I do think that Starfield will be able to expand on this a little bit, just, you know, be prepared for it. I have made an entire video discussing this before, so I won't rant for too long here, but we could see Bethesda expand on this system with Creation Engine 2, allowing more types of Radiant quests if you will, such as smuggling. Some things in Bethesda games are simple as hell, but that's low-key a good thing, at least in my opinion. The economy is a prime example of this. Todd has mentioned that we can hire characters we meet to come and work at our outposts for us and on our ships for us, and this will very likely be as simple as convincing them to join you at your outpost, paying them once, and then having them forever. I would be very surprised if we ever need to pay them again. You could do the same kind of thing in Fallout 4, you can hire people to travel with you, and you only need to pay them once. Then anytime you want to travel with them again, they just come with you for free, or in Skyrim, you can hire a steward for your home, without even paying them. The same thing really goes for puzzles too. Bethesda's puzzles have never been difficult, they're all rather simple, especially in Skyrim, but that's not really a bad thing in my opinion. Now, companions have always worked the same in Bethesda games too, with Fallout 4 just massively stepping up the entire system. Companions will be as simple as finding a companion, convincing or paying them to come with you, and that will be that. Yes, we can build relationships and such, and some of these characters are really in depth, possibly even live with the companions like we can in Fallout 4 and Skyrim, but again, don't expect any major in-depth systems here. You know, we won't be doing a 12-hour side content just to unlock a cool companion. Most of them are likely going to be handed to us throughout the main story. And look, I know the game hasn't even released yet, and here we are discussing DLC, but just hear me out. DLC often works the same way in BGS games too, with us getting a story DLC first, a smaller DLC in the middle, and a massive DLC that usually takes us to new land, filled with a new main quest and all of the usual good stuff at the end. Fallout 4 actually did this system twice, instead of just once, so it is possible that we could see 6 DLCs for Starfield 2, but considering Bethesda have only done that once, I'm not holding my breath, although I am expecting it. Bethesda have always done a season pass too, so you can expect a Starfield season pass to come out probably soon after the first DLC is announced. Okay, honestly, if there's one thing that always stays the same in Bethesda games, it's the looting system. You kill an enemy, look at their loot and take what you want. You find a chest, open it, loot, take what you want. It's always the same, and we can actually see that it looks exactly the same as Fallout 4's in this shot here from the latest gameplay that we have seen. Honestly, I mostly just wanted to make this video to help everyone sort of get their expectations in check before Starfield Direct. It's all well and good being hyped for a game, but just know what you're being hyped for, you know? I would hate to see anyone disappointed in this game, which is why I recommend you all playing other BGS games if you haven't already. But that is pretty much going to do it for the video today, guys. I hope that this video did give you some kind of insight into how Bethesda works if you are new to their games. And if you aren't new, please do leave some comments of other things that we can expect Bethesda to do with Starfield for the new players. And if you did enjoy the video, I kindly ask that you leave it a like, as it really helps me out more than you can imagine. And hey, look, Starfield Direct is right around the corner, so if you want to stay up to date on everything that comes out of that showcase, along with plenty of other video game news such as Elder Scrolls Fallout, Avowed, Outer Worlds, and plenty more, I've always got you covered, so consider subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. And lastly, as always, a big massive thank you to our wonderful channel members. Your monthly support means more than you will ever know, so thank you so much for sticking with me month after month. But with all of that said and done, I thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.